Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, going to be a match between A.st1 and TSL's IdrA. On Tornado, top right, we've got A.st1, also known as ASTP1, according to the replay name. And at the bottom right, we've got IdrA, a brown Terran player. So it's a PvT here on Tornado for your Saturday cast. Woo! Alright, man, so we haven't seen IdrA for a while, so I figured I'd cast a PvT of his. And again, IdrA is a very good player, maybe among the best foreigner players ever to play the game, which doesn't mean much because Korea dominates Brood War, but he could beat every single one of us that is watching this, I can tell you that much. Alright, so this is Tornado. This is a map I have cast a couple matches on before. It's got like a ninja star in the middle. It's kind of cool that way. A lot of open spaces here, so a lot of places for Protoss to get us around on your tanks and your vultures and make you mad. So IdrA might be raging in this game. I don't know. I can't guarantee that, though. And then IdrA's played a bunch of games on this map. I don't know what it is. Like, of all the Tornado games that I played, I think IdrA's been involved in like 80% of them. I can remember at least 2 or 3 specifically where IdrA was involved on TVZs and TVPs on this map. So I don't know. I don't know if this is just one that he chooses a lot or if it was just part of the ladder when he was very active, which is entirely possible. This is a 3-player map. Actually, wait, nope, it's 3. 3-player map. Spawn location here, which is why this is where this probe is going. Checking to see if that is where the enemy is, if that's where IdrA happens to be living right now. And unfortunately not going the right way, but that's alright. You know, it's a 3-player map, not a 4-player map, so you'll find him next time around, guaranteed. That's how this works. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good time. I am feeling much better now. I was feeling pretty sick for a couple days, so my cast for the last week or so have been kind of like, Falcon is going to die, but you know, I'm fine. It was about a 3-day illness of some kind, just generic bacterial stuff, I'm sure. Feeling much, much better now. Cybernetics core coming in from, we're going to call him A.st. Probe really wants to know where the Terran player is. SCV. Ah, IdrA scouts the right direction and gets the win. Alrighty then. So, checks it out. I mean, again, we talk about this every PvT. Is there anything else you can do in a PvT other than go Barracks Factory and Gateway Cybernetics Core? No. There's really not. If you try to go for an expansion too soon, you're going to die to Dragoons, or you're going to die to Vultures, and then you're going to be bad, and you're going to be sad, and you're going to be mad. So you just have to open it this way. There's really no variation, which is kind of annoying, because I feel like at least in, you know, TVZ and PVZ, there's options. You can do other stuff. It's just in this matchup, it is, you are kind of locked into doing the same thing, and it's been this way since the beginning of time. I mean, this is an older replay, so it's an IdrA replay. He retired from Brood War in, like, 2009, 2010. So this is probably around there, 2008, 2010, something like that. Zealot shows up. Doesn't get a lot done because we have a few Marines out to deal with such an eventuality while the factory is coming up here. And Dragoon out, ta-da, and Machine Shop not done yet. So Marine's going to have to defend against the incoming Dragoon that is sure to find its way across the map eventually, if not right now. Probe really wants to see what's going on, but, like, what are you going to find here, man? Like, oh, it's a fast academy. Like, no. There's nothing here that can surprise you. I guess you look for a starport? Because the factory's done, and maybe you're like, okay, maybe it's drops. But no, it's not what it is at all. We're getting a siege tank for IdrA. His machine shop is quiet for now, but it will start working in a minute here. Zealot hanging out at the front. Can't do much, I mean, against this many Marines. The Dragoon is... Did chase down? Yep. Did chase down the SCV. And is now moving to put some pressure up on the IdrA. He's expanding on the high ground, because you can do that as Terran. It's a privilege that you got. The Protoss is going for a robotics facility, so is worried about spider mines, which, again, not being researched right now. Getting singularity charge for Dragoons, almost done. 2 Dragoons, and a Zealot versus 4 Marines and a siege tank. I don't know. Also, not getting siege mode here is IdrA. Very surprisingly. He's got a whole bunch of gas that he's really just not spending right now. Not sure what that's all about. Getting an engineering bay. There you go. Observatory coming in. He's definitely worried about spider mines. But again, the machine shop is quiet, which is not... IdrA, buddy. You have so much gas. Get an upgrade. There we go. Siege tech. Getting started now at 503. 2 siege tanks out. And yeah, basically AST's like, well, not coming out. I can expand on the low ground then. That's cool. Gonna get another gateway. Gonna make an observer. Man, I don't know. Then we'll see. This is where it gets interesting, right? This is where it gets interesting for the Protoss. They do have some options here. They can go for High Templar, or they can go for Archons. They can obviously get upgrades for their Zealots and their Dragoons. And for Terran, it's pretty much just tanks and Vultures and Goliaths. Those are the options here. Science Vessels too. But DTs are viable for Protoss. High Templar are viable for Protoss. Reavers are viable for Protoss. There's just a lot of different options here. Terran kind of, again, locked into a particular strat. At least, I mean, there are some bio openings, okay? You can try to kill the Protoss early with Marines and Medics and stuff. And Firebats maybe, but for the most part, Terrans are just like, you know what? It's a little bit risky to do that. There's a lot of options that the Protoss have to deal with Marines and Firebats. So we're just gonna mech it, right? We're gonna make some Marines early to stay alive, and then we're gonna make factories and more factories and more factories, and that's it. So missile turrets up to deal with perhaps DTs, perhaps shuttle drops, which there are not any of those. Observer pops around, sees, okay, there's a second base here, cool. There's missile turrets that I don't want to run my face into and die. A.st, maybe it'll expand. I like this expansion location. If you could take a main base that's open and available as your third, that's always nice. I always support that decision when I'm expanding. And it is going to be a robotic support base, so it is going to be Reavers here. Reaver drops with that shuttle, tells us the story, but that's why we have Siege Tank, that's why we have Missile Turret. For these very reasons, the Observer says, okay, so there's a back way in where I can maybe get something done. Yeah, dropping. Oh, oh my gosh, almost dead. One more hit, dead. Just really risking it for the biscuit here. And just trying to find a spot to hang out. There. Perfect. We have settled in. This is where we live now. As above these factories, we can see what's being produced. How many Vultures? Are there any Goliaths? Are there Spider Mines possibly getting laid? But no, because Spider Mines are just now being researched at 7.5 minutes. So Vulture's cruising around. They can't lay any Spider Mines down, so they're terrible versus Dragoons. They're not good versus Dragoons anyway, but without Spider Mines, they're horrifically bad. Yeah, so two Vultures make it in. One of them is very close to dead, like to the point that a probe should probably poke it, and it will die. But a Zealot will poke it, and it will die, so that works. And this guy's got 2 kills. 3 kills? Yeah, it was okay. It was fine. Again, this is an important part of TVP. You need to harass with your Vultures. You can't just sit back on 2 bases, maybe 3 bases, and never do anything to the Protoss, because they will expand 5 times, and they will out-macro you to death, which is what Protoss wants to do. They want to out-Zerg the Terran. So, what you got to do is send your Vultures out, right? If you've ever watched Scan trying to coach Artosis, so how to play TVP especially, that's something he really harps on, is sending your Vultures around from base to base to base to base, constantly just using them to harass. Because your APM is doing what else otherwise, right? You're sitting staring at your base, building buildings, and building units out of those buildings, and that's it. So, like, you have some spare APM to use those Vultures to run around and try to do stuff. At the very least, use them for scouting, right? If you just sit on 2 or 3 bases and never move out and just get caught by surprise about what the Protoss is doing and die, it's your own fault. See, look, he's taking that back path. Remember, he's like, I already scouted this back area. And, oh, there's a turret coming up now, but it's not done yet. So it doesn't take that long to build. So there's a little tiny window here where this is going to work. But see, he's doing the waiting thing. A.st is doing the waiting thing. That's, oh, man, he had it. He had a window, and now he's going to take missile turret shots. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give them something to talk about. 4th base coming up from A.st, not expanding here, which is a little bit interesting, but hey, I guess you can defend this. There's a ramp leading up to it, so easier to defend against Vultures with ramps. I think that's a general truth. Stargate up, Templar Archives up, so I'm going to assume Arbiters. Reaver doing some stuff, just kind of out on the map though, right? Killing Vultures, etc., etc. I mean, It's not as good as the Reaver drop would have been here, but man, he wanted to come in, drop the Zealot, absorb the tank shot, drop the Reaver, get some SCVs dead, but he paused. And I know he didn't want to just send this on a control-click, queued-up command into death situation. He wanted to wait and check it out, but if he'd just gone, it would have worked out for him. That is... Man, that is the nature. That is the nature of StarCraft. Sometimes it's just 10 seconds. 5 seconds or so, man. The difference between getting, 12 SCVs killed and 0 SCVs killed is sometimes just those seconds. So 4th base up from A.st, and there's still not a 3rd base. Oh, wait, 3rd base landed. Just kidding. There's obviously this one here from IdrA, which the brown is not showing up super strongly for me on the minimap, obviously, but... Forge. Arbiter coming in. Like predicted. Vultures trying to do some stuff. Not going well for them. We got no upgrades at all for the Dragoons and Zealots. Siege tanks have +1 attack along with our Vulture brethren. And there's that armory. So I think we're going to see maybe a couple Goliaths get started here, because just to deal with the Arbiters, you do want to have some Goliaths, because having no anti-air against Arbiters is terrible, because then the Arbiter flies right up to your base, stasis is everything, and flies away safely. It will get EMP'd by the Science Vessel, so that's a good thing you can do, but you can't kill it with a Science Vessel is the problem. So production tab, I'm still waiting for Goliaths to be made. Just like 2 or 3. I don't need, all of... Okay, that is just not... Nope, no. That bait? It's like, hey, come get this Science Vessel. Ba-boom, ba-boom. +1 siege tanks. Ooh, tank drop. Heading up into A.st's base. Let's see what that's going to do. I see it. I like it a lot. There's really not much to stop this from happening other than the cannon, which is getting some free shots off, which is nice. But siege tank firing and 2 kills. And we'll come back. And 6 kills and 3 kills. Ratcheting up them kills quite nicely. Gonna unload a Zealot on top of these tanks. Kill them both. Spider Mine does take down a Zealot, but tank's dead. But now we've got Vultures inside the house doing some more proby kill stuff here. This is great from IdrA. This drop is pretty darn effective. Can you imagine if Scarabs did friendly fire splash right there? All those probes would be dead. But nope, they don't. They're too smart for that. Recall on the way. There's your Arbiter production, or rather Goliath production, to deal with the Arbiters that IdrA's working on. He's down 150 to 130 supply, but that's okay because your units are more cost efficient. You've killed some probes here. You're up at 65 to 61 workers, but 4 bases to 3 bases is not super ideal, but there you go. 5th base now coming in from A.st. EMP getting researched, scans in, sees there is a base there. And IdrA's like, all right. Let's see if we get in. There's only 3 Dragoons here and a Zealot, but the Vultures decide not to engage. They put their Spider Mines down elsewhere. So, all right then. By the way, hit that like button if you're enjoying the cast. I'm here 5 times a week with Brood War content. You can subscribe as well. Also, you can check out the merch. There is a Falcon Paladin merch store at falconpaladin.store. It's a very easy website to remember. We've got shirts and hats and mugs and sweaters and hoodies. And if it's getting cold where you are, probably want a hoodie. And if it's really hot where you are, a t-shirt's probably more your speed. But winter hats, too, are there. And pillows and mugs for your hot chocolate or your tea. Or perhaps whatever else you're into out of mug drinking. Yeah, falconpaladin.store. Ooh, I like this. Putting some attention on IdrA up here, and then sneaking into the main for more shenanigans. Oh, Reaver dies of the siege tank real fast, though. Defensive Matrix siege tank defending against the oncoming horde. Man, it's going to die anyway because Zealot DPS is pretty good. But the Reaver dying really shuts this thing down. It is hard to kill a ton of SCVs with like 2 Dragoons. However, Zealot's still running around in this 3rd base causing shenanigans. And by that I mean they're both very dead right now. But this Zealot's got 1 kill. He's gonna take another SCV down and then get murderized by Vultures. And it's 64 to 64 workers. So after all the shenanigans, we're even on worker count at the moment. Dragoons looking good. They've got 1-1 upgrades. Okay, all right. Tanks and Vultures at 2-1, though. Upgrade advantage. IdrA. Vulture or Shuttle's actually making it home. Storm coming in from A.st. Do love a good storm. Oh, and then a recall into the third base. Okay, trying to repair the command center, but these are +1 Dragoons, everybody, but the repair is too stupid good. It is so good right now. And can he hold it? The command center is successfully repaired, but a lot of minerals are getting drained off of IdrA right now, but he's got like 900, so he's okay. And then that was a mistake from A.st. He should have killed SCVs while he had the chance. He should have made hay while the sun shined. Instead, he tried to kill the command center, and he failed that gamble. That's something Day 9 talked about a lot when he used to do Day 9 dailies, is guaranteed damage. You jump into opponent's base like this. Sure, you can take down their command center, their nexus, their hatchery. That's a big blow to them, but there's a lot of HP on that thing, and if you try to kill it, you might fail. Get the guaranteed damage. Try to kill individual workers instead. All right, stuff that you can guarantee to kill there. I know you're Dragoons and everything, but still. Man, IdrA just has big army right now, and A.st. does not want to engage with it while the tanks are sieged up. Not even, I guess, while the tanks are not sieged up at the moment, as he's fleeing heartily from this. Do we have stasis for these arbiters? I don't know that we do. Oh, we do have stasis. Stasis gets tossed down, catching a good, like, 5 siege tanks, maybe 4, and a Goliath here, but no, I mean, everybody is dying for the Protoss. 162 to 153 supply. The push is continuing for IdrA, but reinforcing Zealots coming down. They're going to catch. Okay. How many Vultures are in your group? 2? 1? 1 is probably not enough. That said, there are more Vultures coming in. They're chasing you down. They got that +2 attack and +2 armor. And now the Zealots have to back the heck on out. Bruh. Storm up, storming his own Zealots a little bit there. Kind of unavoidable to a certain extent, but still. I'd like to see another recall from A.st, actually. Do you think he can pull it off? It seems, I mean, that's the thing. When there's an army coming for you, what you really are worried about is the army coming for you. And it's hard to split your attention elsewhere, right? Coming on in with the Zealots, trying to get through these Vultures if he can. Storm up, not really enough. More Zealots cruising in all the time, whittling down this tank count. High Templar ready to toss storms down as necessary, weakening and bruising up a bunch of these siege tanks. Oh. Trying to do some Zealot bombery here, but nice unsiege there from IdrA to make sure that doesn't happen. And reinforcements cruising in. IdrA's macro has always been very good. It's never been the reason he's lost the game is because of macro. At least not at this level. And IdrA is just ready to rock. Let's see, can he get the Terran off of his front door stop? Can A.st do this? It is not looking particularly strong for him right now. He's going to lose his natural, but many a Protoss has lost their natural to a Terran player before. They build a home away from home, right? We got tech. We've got gateways over here at this base. Instead, it is 185 to 139 supply, though. And these tanks have +3 now, which is just a problem for ground units for Protoss. There is no sign of transitioning into carriers from A.st right now. He's trying to go for the traditional ground style attack here. But I mean, he doesn't, I think this is a mistake from him. He doesn't need to try to kill this. I promise you don't need to try to kill this. A counterattack would be more strong, I think, but man, look at this. Look at all these reinforcements defending this area. This 3-base setup is so easy to take. It's very nice on this map for IdrA. Maybe that's why a lot of his macro games are on this map, because that 3rd base is so easy to take and hold. He's got a 4th base running too, though, down here to the south. Siege tanks up. And yeah, I think A.st has given up on his main base entirely, which is very fair. And he's heading on down to see what he can do here. Maybe set up a recall. Oh, nice scan. He sees what's going on down this way. Killing this base would be pretty good. And also, I mean, just running like I was going to say, a couple Zealots in here, but the Vultures and the Spider Mines are doing some work on that front. These Vultures kind of just cruise on in. I know they're throwing down Spider Mines and stuff, but these are 2-2 Dragoons. Oh, man, the Spider Mine connections are just good. Oh, big time hit there, too. My goodness. IdrA on point today. Up 170 to 107 supply. He's just won a bunch of engagements. Still mining here from A.st. Gas and minerals both, surprisingly. Hasn't really focused on trying to shut down that income for whatever reason. He's just more interested in trying to kill stuff, I suppose. So yeah, the bulk of his army heading over to the left side. He's going to try to take down A.st.'s base. A.st. is floating 1,700 minerals and 200 gas. He really needs producing, man. He needs more gateways, though, which he now recognizes, but is it too late for that? EMP's the High Templar. Very nice EMP there. This High Templar is useless. Utterly useless at this stage of the game, and it is looking like A.st. just does not have the chops to hang with IdrA today. This Nexus is down. Probes evacuating real fast. I mean, probes... Oh. What the heck killed this? Something killed this. I'm going to guess siege tanks, because it probably wasn't vultures. Yeah, A.st. just coming down ramps against tanks. It's just, ow. Ow. Zealots are trying to split, take down individual tanks at once here, and he's doing a good job whittling it down, but not going to happen. Arbiters are going to actually kill this siege tank right here. Look at this Arbiter go. Get him. Yeah, Arbiter takes down a siege tank. This base is in trouble. This base is coming back. This base is really oversaturated right now. It's only 40 probes, I guess, for A.st. for the multiple bases that he has. And by multiple, I mean 2. And I guess this one with 52 minerals at it doesn't really count. So look at these Arbiters, man. Just wiping out the attack by themselves. Attention otherwhere. Otherwise elsewhere for IdrA. Covert ops? What? IdrA's making covert ops, guys. We're gonna try to nuke A.st. He doesn't need a nuke. He just needs to spark at the bottom of the ramp and fire away. Yeah, IdrA's taking additional bases. There's just not a comeback vector here for A.st. He's doing his best with his 2-2 guys, but the Dragoons not firing as fast as he wants them to. They're firing the standard speed. High Templar dead, High Templar dead. Zealots continuing to pour out here. Yep. 179 to 84 total supply. The Protoss is sort of mining, not really. Got a bunch of probes, but he's really focused on trying to make sure this base does not die, which not working super well for him. Keeps sending like 2 or 3 zealots at a time into this group, which is something that more along the lines of what I would do intelligently in the situation when you're not panicking, which I would do. What you want to be doing is kind of grouping your units up and coming in larger groups than 2 at a time. Yeah, like you're just not even closing the gap, dude. I understand that you're trying to shut this down now, but it is not. Throwing your units into a meat grinder is not going to do it. And that's your GG. Wants a rematch? Nah, says IdrA. I'm good. I kicked your butt. A.st. leaves the game. IdrA is your winner in 23 minutes and 47 seconds. Good game for IdrA. Very, very impressive display there from him. Absolutely incredible. Just an absolutely incredible game. Well done there by IdrA. I mean, it looked kind of bad for him for a minute there, but I really think it hinged on him trying to kill this command center and losing about 10 or 12 Dragoons for nothing. He should have just, target fire down SCVs, whittle down that worker count, and then come back around for another attack later. If you had to lose the Dragoons, fine, but at least get something for it. He didn't get anything for it at all. Didn't do a great job really whittling down the tank count early either, and that's a problem. And then IdrA just, once he got the 3rd base, it was going to be very hard to beat him. But once you have 4 bases and 5 bases as a Terran, it's just like, all right, that's all that she wrote. So just a little bit of impatience there from A.st, a little bit of immaturity from him too. I guess that's why we don't know who his name is. But 196,000 points for IdrA, 164,000 for A.st. Produced similar numbers of units, but IdrA killed 261 to 134. That's a pretty big ratio. Structures raised is a big deal, 233 to 3 in favor of the Terran. And then end of the day, gas mined, minerals mined, and totals spent is not too far off. And actually, Protoss did outspend the Terran by a full 6,000. But when you have your kill-death ratio like this, resources don't matter as much. That's why we have to look at the whole picture. The whole picture. All right, that was great. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. All right, that's going to be it from me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.